Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought I'd be taking a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mighty Bebop.
He is also called Robotic Bebop.
Okay, fine. He's also known as Robotic Bebop. Anyways, let's take a closer look at this guy.
Tired of their growing incompetence, Shredder and Krang developed and designed robotic clones to replace Bebop and Rocksteady. Stronger, faster, and more intelligent than their biological counterparts, these mechanical menaces pose an even greater threat to the Turtles.
Alright, so here we have a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Robotic Bebop, aka Mighty Bebop. Now, I really enjoyed the episode that these guys debuted in, so you can imagine my surprise when I actually saw them on the toy shelves. As a matter of fact, I saw him and the robotic Rocksteady right next to each other, and I snagged them up both pretty quickly. Now, even though I'm a fan of the sculpt, it's very show accurate, I'm not too crazy about this chrome finish that they actually have. I can get the idea of what the creators were going for. It really helps sell the fact that they were robots, but I would have preferred that gray and the other coloring of his vest and pants like was depicted in the show. The other downside about this chrome, well, there's actually two downsides, is some of the detail actually gets lost with that reflective finish. And this type of chrome plating actually chips very easily, and when it does, it's really noticeable. You can kind of see it right there on his little elbow right here. I'm actually really lucky that this guy hasn't had too much wear and tear on his paint job, but if we ever get around to looking at my Chrome Dome action figure, that's just a whole big mess. The other downside of this guy is they didn't use that good of a quality glue on his shoulder cannons right here. Yeah, he had little guns that would actually stick out of his shoulders. And I remember actually after having this guy for a few months, they got real loose and fell apart. And because they were small, it was something that got lost very easily, and I never was able to actually glue them back in. The other thing too is he's made of what feels like a really weak plastic and not that durable, especially compared to the original Bebop and Rocksteady. I mean, if you were to play with this guy a little bit too rough or one good smack, you might feel that you're going to actually break off one of his limbs. However, this guy's actually held up pretty well. Now, as far as his articulation goes, I mean, that's pretty standard. His head can move side to side. His arms are able to move up and down. He has a little bit of wrist articulation. And he's actually missing that ball joint socket actually here that most of the Ninja Turtles have. So his legs are only able to move up and down, which is kind of a shame. It's always nice to get him in a weird sitting position. I mean, you could get him just enough to sit in a vehicle, but that's about it. One thing I will praise on this guy is the attempt for light piping on his head. Even though his, I guess, mohawk is a softer, rubbery, opaque plastic, the light doesn't actually go through all that much, but when you catch it just right, you can kind of see his eyes light up, and I really appreciate the effort. It's something that they did for the Metalhead action figure, and I'm really happy that they try to incorporate it here. Now, as far as his weapons go, he actually comes with this giant mechanical robotic arm shield. It fits on his arm okay, but the only downside is because of its actual sculpt, you can't have him hold it at an angle. You have to have his arm slightly twisted down or completely just palm up all the time. So that's kind of takes away from it just a little bit, but I don't mind actually having it at the angle. The other weapon he comes with was this giant machete Bowie knife. Now, because the handle's actually kind of curved, you got to get it in at an angle and then twist it open, and he grips it fairly well, although it does stretch his hands out just a little bit, and this is the only hand that he can actually hold it in. The last weapon he comes with is this laser camera. I don't know what it is with Bebop and cameras. It seems like all of his weapons are some sort of take on or some sort of customized camera. Was he a cameraman in a past life or before he was mutated? I don't know. But you can see there's a lot of extra missiles and laser cannons and barrels on it. You figure this came from the Technodrome. It was probably one of Krang's crazy weapon inventions. Now, despite my few little nitpicks with this guy, he's not that bad of a figure, and I'm really happy that I actually added him to my collection. Anyways, this has been a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Robotic Bebop, aka Mighty Bebop. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please help me out by sharing, liking, or even subscribing. Comments and advice are also appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear on the show in the future.